We've been talking about broken femurs. Yeah, I know you've talked about a many. You were just having dinner with the kids last night, talking about various broken femurs. But we got a couple of emails from people who have experience, so we can put the femur matter to rest, as because it's been femur fever. As you looked up that some professional athletes came back in 6 or 9 months, and somebody else was out for a number of years. Poor old Kota Ibushi, he's saying it's going to be a year or two. So we got testimony here. Would you like to hear some experienced medical professionals at first?
Yeah, let's hear something, because the only thing we know is that Kota Ibushi broke his leg in that spot with Josh Alexander, and now he's going to be out for 2 years.
Well, this is from Jeremy in Dayton, Ohio. And he is apparently an experienced medical professional. The femur is the longest and heaviest bone in the human body and is one of the strongest bones in the body as well. Having worked in the ICU of a level 1 trauma center, I can say that most of the femur fractures I have seen come from motor vehicle collisions where the driver or passenger goes forward, striking the point of the knee into the dashboard at a high rate of speed, or in the elderly who have fallen. Due to its immense strength, fractures of the femur are exceedingly rare, with an average of 10 to 21 per 100,000 people per year. So this is a major fuck up that has happened, or that can happen, but it doesn't happen that often. And it makes sense that when Ibushi was falling, he was like doing a splash to the floor and the rail was under his face. So when he caught the rail with his hands to protect his face, it spun his legs around and his knees landed on the goddamn concrete. So that explains that.
Or it gives you a real opportunity when he comes back to do something special that's never been done before. A sympathetic babyface who is the man with brittle bones. The babyface you always have to worry about. You always have to hope someone will protect him. But he somehow overcomes the odds and wins the match before he gets injured again. Never been done.
Well, I think they're doing it. I think we may already be into it. And this is just Al from Kenosha, Wisconsin, who is not a doctor and states that his medical knowledge is of the bare minimum that is required by himself. But a couple of years ago, his daughter was involved in a car accident that totaled both vehicles, and she broke her femur in the process. They had to surgically insert a metal rod in her leg to help heal the bone. She didn't get it removed until a year later, and the doctor told her it would be 9 to 12 months to fully recover after that. She doesn't have the incredible and legendary DNA that Ibushi has, but it took her about a year to feel mostly comfortable. And now, cold weather bothers her, but it did take about a full 2 years to be able to operate her injured leg without constant pain. So with Ibushi's history of detachable legs and their connected bones falling apart, I'm not sure he'll even be close to the less than stellar ability he's had the last 5 years compared to his younger days. So, Jesus Christ. What do they all got to perch on the top rope for?
It's amazing that there really haven't been more broken femurs in wrestling, like especially in the past when you had older guys still wrestling and just from a bump, just as they got older. You never heard about this until Ibushi.
Well, because the older guys were falling from much lower places, sometimes even crumpling a la Ox Baker to the ground because they realized what the fuck might happen.
Do you think the rings are too soft? I don't know if this is related to it.
What?
Because Ibushi fell to the floor. Just Do you think that the fact that the rings are so soft encourages people to do things that they wouldn't have done in the past on those harder rings?
Well, no, the rings in AEW or most indies that I see on television are no more bump worthy than the good rings of the territories were, except they got better padding. But I mean, as far as the give, that's fine. Vince is the one that had the concrete bullshit through the 80s and well into the late 90s. But it's no, it's not about the ring that they're bumping on now is not appreciably different in terms of give and how it's going to affect the overall impact of the bump than a real good territory ring was in the 80s or the Smoky Mountain ring was in the 90s. It just, they have cleaner canvases and better padding. And I'm not going to say that the turnbuckles aren't sometimes protected better or whatever, but the point is, when you get scoop slammed and you land, there's no appreciable difference between a good ring now and a good ring 30, 40 years ago. So it's not like somebody just said, oh God, now I can fly like the wind. It feels like I'm floating in and landing in a cloud. A lot of them are in better shape, and they have to be because they're taking more of these fucking bumps. But also a lot of them are smaller, and they have to be because they're taking more of these fucking bumps.
Well, get well soon, Coda.